The camera cuts backstage and there she is, the man, Becky Lynch, storm clouds in her eyes, fire in her chest, marching through the concrete corridors of Monday Night Raw like a woman possessed. Security guards freeze. Producers press themselves against walls. Everyone knows what's about to happen. Everyone can feel it. Because when Becky Lynch has that look on her face, when her jaw is set like that and her fists are clenched tight enough to draw blood from her own palms, someone is about to get torn apart. And tonight, that someone is Paul Heyman, the wise man, the special counsel, the man who's been playing chess with people's careers for decades. But here's what Paul doesn't understand: Becky Lynch doesn't play chess. She flips the board over and sets it on fire. And after what happened to Seth Rollins, after what we all witnessed, there's no force on earth that's stopping her from getting answers. Right now. Tonight. With the whole world watching. Before we go any further, hit that like button because you already know this is about to get absolutely insane. Drop a comment and tell me whose side you're on in this war, and share this video with every wrestling fan you know, because what went down backstage is something nobody expected and everyone needs to see. And if you haven't subscribed yet, look, I get it, everyone's asking for subscriptions these days. But here at Ring Rumble, we're bringing you the real stories, the raw emotions, the moments that make wrestling mean something. We're a community of people who actually care about this business, and we'd love to have you as part of that. So if you're with us, if you feel what we feel, just hit that subscribe button. No pressure. Just an invitation to be part of something special. Now back to the chaos. Becky's been through wars. She's climbed mountains that would break lesser competitors. She's faced Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania with a broken face and won. She's defeated Ronda Rousey when everyone said she couldn't. She's held championships, main event pay-per-views, and cemented herself as one of the greatest to ever do it. But this isn't about championships. This isn't about WrestleMania moments or career-defining victories. This is personal. This is about the man she loves lying in a heap in the ring last week, clutching his knee, his face contorted in agony while Paul Heyman stood at ringside with that smug smile plastered across his face. That knowing grin that said, "I orchestrated this." That look that told everyone watching at home that the Bloodline's newest target wasn't some mid-carder or jobber, it was Seth freaking Rollins. The attack came out of nowhere. Seth was cutting a promo, doing what he does best, electrifying the crowd, talking about his next challenge, his next mountain to climb. And then the music hit. Not Roman's music. Not Solo Siko's music. A new theme. Dark, menacing, unfamiliar. And out walked someone we'd never seen aligned with the Bloodline before, someone who moved with the precision of an assassin and the malice of someone who'd been promised the world by Paul Heyman. The assault was brutal, calculated, systematic. They didn't just attack Seth, they dismantled him. They targeted his leg, the same leg he's had surgeries on before, the same knee that's kept him out of action multiple times throughout his career. They wrapped it around the ring post. They slammed it against the steel steps. They hit move after move specifically designed to tear ligaments, shred cartilage, end careers. And through it all, Paul Heyman watched. He didn't order the attack to stop. He didn't show mercy. He stood there with his phone in his hand, probably texting Roman Reigns, probably sending videos to the tribal chief showing him exactly what his counsel had arranged. Because that's what Paul does. He doesn't get his hands dirty. He doesn't need to. He whispers in ears, he makes promises, he finds people's weak points and he exploits them with surgical precision. He's done it to Brock Lesnar's opponents. He's done it to CM Punk. He's done it to everyone who's ever stood across the ring from someone Paul Heyman represents. And now he's done it to Seth Rollins. But here's what Paul forgot. Here's the massive, catastrophic miscalculation that might be the biggest mistake of his legendary career. Seth Rollins isn't alone. Seth Rollins is married to Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch has never, not once in her entire life, let anyone she loves get hurt without consequences. She's not the type to cry backstage. She's not the type to file complaints with management or wait for authority figures to handle her business. She's the man. And the man handles her own problems. Cameras catch her now, rounding a corner, and you can see members of the Bloodline's entourage scattering. They want no part of this. Solo Sikoa sees her coming and actually takes 3 steps backward. Think about that. Solo Sikoa, the enforcer, the street champion of the Bloodline, the man who's taken out legends, backs away from Becky Lynch. Because he knows. Everyone knows. You don't get between Becky Lynch and her target. Not if you value your career. Not if you have any sense of self-preservation whatsoever. She kicks open a locker room door. Paul Heyman is inside, sitting casually, scrolling through his phone like he doesn't have a care in the world. Like he didn't just orchestrate an attack that might have ended Seth Rollins' career. Like he's untouchable. He looks up slowly, that infuriating smile creeping across his face, and you can hear him start with his typical routine. "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, but Becky cuts him off immediately. She doesn't want the speech. She doesn't want the catchphrase. She doesn't want the performance. She wants answers and she wants blood. What did you do to my husband? Her voice is shaking, not with fear, but with barely controlled rage. It's the voice of someone who's holding back everything they want to unleash because they know once they start, they might not stop. What did you do to Seth? Paul, being Paul, tries to play it cool. He puts his phone down carefully, adjusts his glasses, spreads his hands in a gesture of mock innocence. Ms. Lynch, I'm afraid I don't know what you're referring to. I'm simply the special counsel to, and that's when Becky gets in his face. I mean really in his face. Close enough that Paul's smile finally falters. Close enough that you can see the calculation happening behind his eyes as he realizes he might have actually pushed too far this time. Don't you dare play games with me, Paul. I've been in this business long enough to know exactly what you are. You're a manipulator. You're a coward who hides behind monsters because you can't fight your own battles. And you just made the biggest mistake of your life because you went after my family. Every word is punctuated. Every syllable lands like a hammer. This isn't a promo. This isn't entertainment. This is a woman who's genuinely considering whether prison time is worth the satisfaction of taking Paul Heyman apart right here, right now, on live television. Paul tries to respond, but Becky's not done. Seth is home right now with ice on his knee, wondering if he can wrestle again, wondering if he can walk properly again, wondering if the career he's dedicated his entire life to is over. And you know what the worst part is, Paul? Our daughter asked me tonight why Daddy was crying. She's 3 years old and she asked me why her father was in tears because of what you did to him. So whatever game you're playing with Roman, whatever plan you have with the bloodline, whatever power move you think this is, it ends now. You're going to call off your dogs. You're going to leave my husband alone. Or I swear to you, I will make it my life's mission to destroy everything you've built. The tension in that room is suffocating. Production crew members are holding their breath. Cameramen are zooming in because they know this is the moment. This is the footage that's going to define Monday Night Raw. This is the clip that's going to go viral, that's going to trend worldwide, that's going to be replayed for years. Because we've seen Becky Lynch angry before. We've seen her intense. But this is different. This is maternal rage mixed with the fury of a warrior who's watched her partner get taken down by cowards. Paul finally finds his voice again. And credit where it's due, the man is a master manipulator. He stands up slowly, straightens his suit, and looks Becky directly in the eyes. Ms. Lynch, you have my deepest sympathies regarding Mr. Rollins' unfortunate incident. However, I must correct your misconceptions. I don't control the bloodline. I advise the tribal chief. And the tribal chief makes decisions that are best for business. If Seth Rollins found himself on the wrong side of those business decisions, well, that's simply the nature of our industry. But if you're looking for someone to blame, perhaps you should look at your husband's choices. Perhaps you should ask him why he thought it was wise to challenge Roman Reigns' authority. Perhaps he doesn't finish that sentence. Becky shoves him hard. Paul stumbles backward into an equipment crate, glasses flying off his face, phone clattering to the floor. And for just a split second, you see genuine fear in Paul Heyman's eyes. Because for all his words, for all his manipulations, for all his decades in the business, he's not a fighter. He's a talker. And right now, talking isn't going to save him. Say one more word about Seth's choices and I'll make sure you never speak again. Becky's voice drops to almost a whisper, which somehow makes it more terrifying. I don't care about Roman. I don't care about the bloodline. I don't care about your tribal chief or your acknowledgement or any of your games. All I care about is this: you're going to fix what you broke. You're going to make this right. Or I'm going to walk out to that ring during Roman's next appearance and I'm going to expose every dirty secret, every backroom deal, every manipulation you've ever orchestrated. And trust me, Paul, I know people. I hear things. I know about Philadelphia. I know about the contracts. I know about what really happened with Brock. So you have a choice. Make this right, or watch your empire crumble. Now it's Paul's turn to be speechless. His mind is racing, you can see it. He's trying to figure out what Becky knows, what she doesn't know, whether she's bluffing. But Becky Lynch doesn't bluff. Everyone knows that. She backs up everything she says. Every threat. Every promise. Every word. Before Paul can respond, Adam Pearce runs into the room with several officials. Becky, you need to leave. Right now. This isn't how we handle things. But Becky doesn't take her eyes off Paul. I'm done handling things the corporate way, Adam. That's what Seth did. He went through proper channels. He respected the business. And look where it got him. So from now on, we do this my way. She turns to leave but stops at the door, looking back one more time. And Paul? Tell Roman that if he has a problem with me, he knows where to find me. I'll be in the ring next week, waiting. No sneak attacks. No 3-on-1 assaults. Just me and the tribal chief. Let's see if he's as tough as everyone says when he's facing someone who isn't afraid of the bloodline. Someone who's got nothing left to lose. The implications are massive. Becky Lynch just challenged Roman Reigns. The man just called out the tribal chief. We might be witnessing the beginning of the biggest feud in WWE right now. And the best part? This isn't about titles. This isn't about accolades or records. This is pure, raw emotion. This is about family, about loyalty, about what happens when you push the wrong person too far. Paul Heyman sits there in silence as officials help him up, as he retrieves his glasses, as he tries to compose himself. But everyone saw it. Everyone witnessed the Wiseman get outplayed. Everyone watched Becky Lynch take control of a situation that Paul thought he had mastered. And now the question becomes, what does Roman do? Does he accept Becky's challenge? Does he send the bloodline after her? Does he realize that by targeting Seth, he's awakened something in Becky that might actually be capable of bringing his empire down? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because this is just getting started. The war between Becky Lynch and the bloodline might be the story that defines the next year of WWE programming, and we're going to be here covering every single moment of it. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a single update, because if tonight proved anything, it's that anything can happen when Becky Lynch is involved. She's not just the man anymore. She's a woman on a mission, and heaven help anyone who gets in her way.